Welcome to our little world where we can take a close-up look at an acoustic guitar. And the reason that we're coming here is specifically to learn the names of the notes on two strings. Now ultimately it's really important to know the names of all the notes everywhere on the neck, but for right now we don't need to know it all. We can get by with two strings because that's where the roots of all the chords that we're moving around are located. So if we can memorize the names of those two sets of notes, you're going to be able to find your way around much more quickly when you're playing chord progressions. All right, let's take a look. The open string is E, and one fret up is the next letter name. That's F, E, F. And then it's two frets from there on. F to G, G to A to B, and now we have another half step, B to C. That's one fret, and then C to D, two frets, and D to E, that's another two frets. Now this is the octave. The letter name E at the octave is the same as the letter name and the sound of the note at the open string. And you notice the two dots down here help you keep your place. All right? To review quickly, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. Going to the fifth string, the open fifth string is A. A to B is two frets, and then we have that one fret between B and C. Moving up again, two frets to D, two frets to E, one fret to F, two frets to G, and two frets to the octave A. And reviewing again, open string is A, then two frets to B, C, D, E, one fret to F, G, and A. Now if you know where those notes are on the neck and can find them quickly, you're going to be able to play your progressions much more comfortably. So I recommend that you take a piece of paper and draw two lines along it for the strings and draw 12 vertical lines for the frets and write the locations of those notes in on the paper so you can look at it while you practice your chord progressions. It'll help you get around a lot more quickly. All right, let's go back to reality. Now, as I mentioned, the capo is one way to deal with the problem of playing in other keys, but we're rough, we're tough, we don't need that kind of thing. We got another way to deal with it too. This is called bar chords. Now, bar chord is basically an attempt to recreate open chords using the first finger to compensate for the nut. Let me explain that. Here's an E major chord in open position. Now suppose I want to play F. I've got two choices, either clamp the capo on the first fret or play a bar chord. Well, to play a bar chord, what I do is pretend that my first finger is the nut. If I play an E chord, it would look like this. Now notice I've refingered it. I'm using the third finger, fourth finger, and second finger instead of what I was using before because my first finger is occupied here. If I take that shape and move it up one fret and clamp down hard with my first finger, there's an F chord. Now, bar chords, and especially the F major bar chord, are kind of a rude introduction to a brand new technique. It's going to cause a lot of pain in the first stages here because you're going to cut some new grooves in your fingers, but most of it really isn't a matter of building up calluses or anything like that. It's more learning where to position your finger. Now I'm not laying my finger flat like this. It's rolled slightly to the side. It's a little bonier that way, and so you get a better grip. And I'm also adjusting it crosswise on the neck so that I find a spot that doesn't have any dead positions in it so that all the strings ring equally. There's a partial bar chord that you can play which uses only the top four strings and it offers a little bit of relief. Bar with your index finger the top two strings, second finger, third finger. Now once you can play a bar chord, either the partial or the full shape, you can play in any key. There's G, there's A, down a half step is called A flat, and so on. So I can play a major chord anywhere that I want to. The sound is different. Open strings, bar chord. The bar chord has slightly less resonance, hence the use of the capo. Now I can also play a minor chord using a bar shape, or I can play a dominant chord using a bar shape as well. And the shape is the same as it was in open position. Now, there's one other bar shape that you'll find extremely useful, and this is based on the A chord. Here's our old pal, the A chord. Now, once again, if I use my index finger as a pretend bar and then actually move it up and lay it on the neck, I get this right here. This is a B flat major triad. Now, this one is going to cause some intense pain and suffering. If you start to feel your hand cramp up, just stop and take a break. But eventually, you'll be able to play this one as well. Thumb behind the neck, first finger puts down a lot of pressure, barring from the 5th over to the 1st string. And of course, that can be played in other keys as well. A variation that might be a little bit easier, but sacrifices the top string, is this one right here. You're going to just hear a dead top string there. But doesn't involve crowding the fingers as much. Now, to convert that A shape to a minor and dominant, first finger the A minor chord, using the 3rd, 4th, and 2nd fingers, and then move it up, B flat minor, C minor, and so on, and then dominant, refingered, and then moved up. We now have a B flat chord, C7, etc. So the result is that when you're given a chord progression, you can play in any key with a combination of open chords and bar chords. With that set of possibilities, you've really got all the variety you need to play practically anything.